Ever had a hangover so bad your eyeballs hurt? Well, these Super 44s will give you that same headache without the night before fun. Hey guys, and welcome back to the shop. Today, we're continuing the Muffler series with another Flowmaster showdown, the new American Thunder Super 44s versus the 50 Series Delta. I'll be putting these two head to head in a clash of horsepower, harmonics, and how much my neighbors will hate me after this. The Super 44s sound fantastic outside the car, but if you caught my last video, you know they don't deliver on their promise of reduced interior drone. It's like locking yourself in a metal dumpster while an angry marching band practices inside. Be sure to check out the original 40s versus Super 44s, as well as other muffler comparison videos linked below. Now, Flowmaster claims the 50 Series Delta is tamer inside the car while still delivering that classic Flowmaster muscle car sound outside the car. Is this just some fancy sales pitch, or will my ears finally catch a break? To find the truth, I'll be running both the Super 44s and the 50 Series Delta through my new hi-fi stereo setup and measuring the sound output so that you can hear them in full, glorious high fidelity. Do yourself a favor, crank up the volume and put this on a good sound system. All right, let's fire up the Super 44s and see just how much noise punishment they deliver. Here we go. 55 miles an hour. Here's our idle. Okay guys, this is the hi-fi stereo recording, so crank it up on your good speakers. Ready to go here. We're going to record from 2, 4, and 8 yards away, and we're going to get decibel volume readings for you, and you'll be able to hear it in stereo. So let's crank it up and get it going. On just the crank. There's 2 yards. There's 4 yards. There's 8 yards away, guys. Man, those 44s sounded incredible, didn't they? Outside the car, they're pure muscle, but inside, they hit harder than a 2-day-old gas station burrito. If you've ever wanted to feel your brain rattle like loose change in a cup holder, these mufflers have you covered. Stick around, I've got side-by-side comparisons coming up, plus a hi-fi stereo recording of the 50 Series Deltas so that you can hear every detail. And while you're here, drop a comment with other muffler battles you'd like to see tested. All right, enough punishment. Let's rip these 44s off and get the 50s installed. Guys, I talk about this in pretty much all my videos, but these are the Summit band clamps versus the Walker brand. The Summit, there's a lot of pieces. You've got 2 bolts, 2 nuts, these side pieces here that hold it together, and then this center piece. With the Walker clamps, it's literally just the clamp and 2 bolts. so much easier, so much less crap to worry about. So I would suggest the Walker clamps. I'll paste a link down below, but here's the model number for them. Definitely the way to go. 50 series Delta is about 3.5 inches longer than the Super 44s. So you will have to keep that in mind. If you're going to install these on your car, you're going to have to make provisions for that extra length. These 50 series Delta have been on the car before. They are my favorite muffler currently. I'm hoping you guys will suggest something out there that I can try that I may like better than these. But as it stands right now on this car with 351W, AFR 205 heads, no catalytic converters, this is the muffler for me. You can see the transparent images here. You notice there's only 2 baffles in the center there, and it's basically a straight through design. Sound in the air has to get past these baffles and then out the other side. On the 50 series Delta, we see something different. We also have the same baffles down here with the addition of this smaller one at the bottom. We have these little chambers here near the entrance of the exhaust. Now, what are these chambers? These are Helmholtz resonance chambers. And they're a pretty ingenious design because what they're designed to do is to cancel certain frequencies. Now, Flowmaster claims that these Helmholtz chambers here are designed to cancel that drone that occurs inside the interior of your car. Now, what we're going to test is whether or not that actually works. Let's get these 50s on the car and get to testing. Okay guys, the 50 series mufflers are installed and we're going to do our interior decibel level test right now. We'll start with an idle test, windows up. 55 miles an hour. Miles an hour. 67.5 miles an hour. From 2 yards. From 4 yards. And from 8 yards. Now we'll get a maximum rev decibel reading from 8 yards away. here's our idle. All right, guys, that wraps up the Flowmaster 44s versus the 50s. What do you think? What did you think of the hi-fi stereo recordings of each? So what did we learn from this video? We learned that the 50 significantly reduced that interior drone at all speeds that we tested, which was 55, 70, and 67 miles an hour. The 50s still sound great outside the car, just not quite as, would I say, raspy. I think the 44s may have a little higher pitched tone, or the 50s may be a little deeper, but they still maintain that great Flowmaster sound, in my opinion. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you may have noticed a little discrepancy in the idle test at 2, 4, and 8 yards. The reason for that discrepancy is the Pro-M system in this car has decided to up the idle by about 250 RPMs. Now, I haven't dug into that as to why that has happened yet. That is on my to-do list. But the Pro-M system, for some reason, has decided the car needs to idle a little higher. Now, maybe it really does. I don't know. I did have the idle set at 850, and now it wants to idle around 1050 to 1100. So out of all the mufflers I've tested so far on this particular car, the 50s are still my favorite as far as interior drone goes. Now, as far as exterior sound, the original 40s are still unbeatable. Now, I do like the Super 44s, but I would say I like the original 40s better. Now, I will have the Super 44s up for sale on my website after this video comes out, if you guys may be interested in grabbing them as a used pair. Let me know in the comments down below what mufflers you'd like me to compare next. And also check out my other muffler comparison videos in the description below. Alright guys, I hope this video was helpful to you. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.